Your Majesty, Prime Minister of Belgium, dear colleagues, heads of state and government, Commissioner for Development, ladies and gentlemen commissioners, dear friends. At this very auspicious moment, I would like to remind you that we have strong ties of trust between Senegal and the European Union because we share values of freedom, democracy, and respect for human rights. And it is these uniting values which have been so sorely tested by unprecedented terrorist attacks within Europe. And so my thoughts go out to the victims of those terrible attacks. I think of their friends and families and express my compassion and sympathy to them. As the human race, we have no choice but to continue and try to combat this terrible scourge. The International Forum on Peace and Security in Dakar made this a priority. We've been working on this together for 4 years, and the 4th edition will take place in November. Dear friends, when we think about investment and development for the greater good and in the interests of peace and prosperity, it's clear that this 11th edition of the European Development Days is placing the future of humanity at the very heart of this debate. We need to show solidarity, and we have strong partnerships already to ensure that. Africa has strong ties with Europe, and Senegal has its own plans for development in this field, together with the support of the European Union. I won't go into our own plans into greater detail, but we are still pursuing thorough reforms of the economy, trying to invest more and invest better in education and to promote social inclusion. The third pillar of our plan is pursuing public policies which will promote peace and security in our countries and to ensure good governance. The third year after implementation of our plan, we have already seen very promising results. Our efforts focus on continuing modernization of our agriculture, and we have recorded record unprecedented levels of production. We have also invested in managing water resources, land management, and agricultural production methods. We still have a great deal of work left to do, and in order to face the challenge of climate change. Senegal is absolutely committed to the entirety of the Paris Accord for climate change. And during the COP21, we want to find a sustainable agreement, because we will be on the front line in terms of climate change and pollution. We have numerous African representatives here. On behalf of all of the heads of state and government, I would like to just reiterate that Africa supports the Paris Agreement, particularly supporting the Green Fund, not just for adapting to climate change, but tackling it as well. With your permission, I would just like to talk about the relationship between Africa and the European Union. At the opportunity of the 11th contract we have signed with the European Union allows us to focus on democratic governance and improving water management amongst others. We are convinced that we will be able to improve life in our regions, ensuring access to electricity, water, and making sure that women have access to work, for example, and making sure that no one is cut off. We have promising programs which will help our youth in rural areas, making sure that they do not take the great risk of illegal migration. The existing programs between Europe and Africa must continue, ladies and gentlemen. After the difficult negotiations on the partnership agreements, we now have a strong partnership in a world which is tested by uncertainty. But this gives us a great opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. We will be able to continue work, and we hope that we will continue to pursue this strong partnership, which is mutually beneficial to both sides and which is built on respect of our diversity. A partnership which goes beyond aid for development, but which will promote innovative mechanisms to promote investment. Africa needs $68 million for investment in the continent, and we are convinced that this can be achieved through our partnerships. I would call upon our European partners to mobilize development funding to this end. We need the tools to continue improving. We want to improve our transport links in ports by rail, because we know that a poor Africa would be a factor of instability, but a wealthy, prosperous Africa will be a strong partner in the world. Let us learn the lessons from the past, from excellent partnership, and continue building on our partnership to build an ambitious future for shared wealth for all. Thank you.